What's good, Gifted? This is your host, Steph Wood, coming to you again from my city, Norfolk, Virginia. What is good, my gifted people? Man, I tell you what, this is another day, another blessed day, another great day. We're walking, we're breathing, we're living, we have our families, we have our lives, we have our gifts, we have our talents, and we are blessed. I can tell you one reason why I'm blessed today, because my child got a job. Amen and amen, with a little D on the end of that, because the kid is out at Buoy 44 on Virginia Beach, on the Shore Drive exit of Virginia Beach. Check her out right now. She's hostessing, and we're going to see if she can put those Division I softball skills to the test and leadership, and see if she can bring home some money. See, because she's been home from college for a while, and she eats a lot. So we are so grateful. I'm grateful to the Lord that he has provided a job for my baby. So that's my 30 seconds. Ace, what was your day like?
Man, it's just another typical day in quarantine for me. I sit around and watch a little TV, play with my kids, did a little homeschooling with my 10-year-old. This is trying times. I mean, I commend the teachers of today, the work that they put in. I mean, it has to be appreciated. And it's appreciated more during this time because so many people have to become the teachers now in their home. And me experiencing that day in and day out, I mean, it's a trying time. I mean, me doing the work of a fifth grader is tough. Boy, times have changed. The math has changed. A lot has changed. But I'm enjoying being here with the family, enjoying this time in the house.
Well, another great thing that's come from COVID is you and I have this new segment on What's Good Gifted, and the new segment is called Full Time Out with Ace Custis and your host, Steph Wood. Ace, you're representing the Virginia Tech shirt tonight. Is that in honor of our guest that's coming on in just a little while, or is that you had it already ironed and everything? What's up?
You know, I always try to bleed that orange and maroon. You know, got a little gray in it tonight, but I'm Hokie till death do us part. I mean, I've been a Hokie all my life. It opened a lot of doors for me, and I'm appreciative. And I'm appreciative to be back at the university now, being on staff as the coordinator of basketball relations. I've been back now for about 9 months now, and I'm enjoying being back in Blacksburg, Virginia, doing what I do, being around basketball, and enjoying the Hokie Nation.
I know that's right. And I have been enjoying getting reconnected to you through Full Time Out. Again, this is What's Good Gifted. I'm your host, Steph Wood, coming to you from my city, Norfolk, Virginia, with another episode, installment with my guy, Ace Custis, Full Time Out Ace. I'm hype for tonight. Mad hype. Thank you so much for connecting us with Scott. So he's coming on. Yes, I'm excited.
Most definitely. Great guy, great person. Tremendous athlete, 2-star, superstar coming out of Connecticut. I mean, I'm glad he was able to join us here tonight.
Yes. So if you don't know who we're talking about, let me explain. His name is Scott Burrell. For many of you, you probably have just most recently seen him on the Last Dance documentary. But what we are finding out more and more about Scott here in the recent days as we prepare for this interview and learn more about him, there's so much more to Scott, and I cannot wait to see what he's got next. It is my honor and my privilege to bring on the show to What's Good Gifted, a first ever exclusive with Scott Burrell, a 2-time drafted athlete, professional athlete, played in the league, won a championship with the Bulls. Now he is a coach at Southern Connecticut State and doing his thing, crushing with winning records back to back to back to back. Let's bring in my new guy. Ace, help me welcome him, Scott Burrell. Scott, what's good?
What's good? What's good? Thanks for having me. What's up, Steph? What's up, Ace? Good to see you too. Ace, does orange and what is it, maroon really match? I mean,
yes. It goes well together. It goes good.
Just wondering.
I'm gonna have to get you a little bit of that orange and maroon so you can see it flow, how it go together.
Okay. Thank you. You guys doing all right tonight?
We are doing exceptional. We are excited to have you on the show First, before we get started, just what's a regular day looking like? You know, Ace and I were talking, you know, what is your COVID quarantine routine like now that, you know, you don't have workouts? I know you're still staying in contact with your players at Southern Connecticut State. What's been like?
It's for me, it's like everybody else. You get up. I have 2 young kids. I have a young daughter going on 2 in July, and I have a 4-year-old. So they're up early every morning. I'm up giving them milk, making breakfast, the oatmeal, the eggs, and stuff like that. So it's just constant energy from those 2 that I got to just keep up with them. But it's fun. It's so much fun. And like one thing about the COVID that only thing good that came out of it is I wouldn't spend this much time with them, and I cherish the moments I spend with them now because I would be at work every day or to be on the road recruiting. These are special times that you can't get back. So we're going through a horrible time, but something good came out of it is that I could spend time with my wife and my kids. So
what was it like when you finished up with the NBA and you went overseas and began your overseas European career? Was it a big change, or was it just you know, different city, same game?
Kind of a little bit of both. You still got to perform wherever you are. You just have more pressure when you play overseas because you're the guy. They brought you, and I came from the NBA. They expect me to do everything. They expect the Americans are going to be the best players day in and day out. And you could be the best player. But if your team doesn't win, you're getting the blame. You can get 25 and 15. If your team doesn't win, it was your fault. But you welcome that challenge as an athlete. It's competitive. It's fun. People think the NBA is the best league, which it is. But overseas, you have some great talent. And a lot of guys that play overseas could be in the NBA as well. But it's fun playing over there, just like playing the NBA.
Right, and you were in Japan the same time as my co-host here, Ace. Ace, what was it like playing against Scott back then, and how is it to see him now, and kind of reconnect and reflect on those times?
I mean, it's always good to run into Scott. I mean, he's a great guy, as I stated earlier, and I was always a fan of his, even when he was at UConn, and I always followed his career. If you're in the game of basketball and you are a student of the game, you appreciate what players do at the college level, at the professional level, and wherever they go in that career, you always continue to follow them. And I remember when Scott came over in 05, 06 to join the Hitachi Sun Rockers.
Sun Rockers, yep.
And I was with OSG Phoenix. I had been over there a couple of years already. I was pretty much an established guy over there. And for me, I enjoyed staying in Japan. I enjoyed the Japanese culture. They always welcome us. They appreciated the game of basketball. Their fans were so animated. They were so enthused. They enjoyed the game, and they was excited by the smallest thing that happened on the basketball court. A routine play, they applauded for. And I remember when the season first started, my first thing was, who are the Americans coming to Japan this year? That was my biggest concern. Who are the Americans? I know the locals. I'm not worried about a local Japanese player as a rookie. My concern was, who do I have to battle each night out as an American? And when we got the list, and I was going through the list, and I said, Scott Burrell. I was like, wait, Scott Burrell? Scott Burrell's coming to Japan? So I was like, oh, man. Well, I knew my work was cut out, and we had our battles. It was fun. He was still knocking down that jump shot as he always did. So, I mean.
My body was beat up at that time, too.
You say what?
My body was beat up at that time.
Hey, man, you was putting the ball in the basket still at a high clip, and I enjoyed playing against you and getting to know you on a more personal level once we had a chance to battle overseas.
Yeah, I loved it, too. It was fun. Like I said, you play against some great players in the NBA, but you also play some great players overseas. And Ace, and was it Honeycutt, your teammate?
Yeah, Honeycutt.
Yeah, Honeycutt. I mean, they're 2 great guys and 2 great players. So you had the battle when we played each other, so it was fun. Yeah.
It sounds like it, and it sounds like it's good memories all the way around. Ace, did you have to battle him in a matchup, or did you guys meet off the ball? Like, what was that like? Like, did you go head to head? Like, what was it?
We went head to head. We had to guard each other on numerous occasions. Most times throughout the game, for several quarters, it was me and Scott matched up, and Honeycutt and Jermaine Tate matched up. So that was the duos, and that was the battles. So, we was just trying to equalize to balance that out with them, and hopefully our locals to take us over the top.
Yeah.
Is that how you remember it, Scott?
Exactly the way. Because we both were going to get numbers against each other, and Jermaine and Honeycutt were going to get numbers against each other. It's just whoever had the best Japanese players would take you over top. And I had some really good guards that were talented. So a lot of times, we made the playoffs. Yeah, we made the playoffs each year.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we had some talented Japanese players, so we won a lot of games.
Well, that's awesome. You mentioned when you transitioned and you were in Japan now and things are different. And Ace, you know, you can go through that as well because you had your moments on this side of the water per se, playing and striving for that ultimate goal. But you, Scott, reached that pinnacle. Not only did you get to the NBA, but you also played Major League Baseball. You know, you're a first-round draft pick 2 times over, and now here you are. You've won a championship, and you're overseas. Was the game that much different, or did you find that the game just really came to you after you had all that experience?
No, it was basically the same game. You know, the only thing you have to get used to is the culture, knowing your teammates, knowing how to appreciate them as your teammates, being in their country, and you want them to like you since you're a guest in their country. But the game, once you step on the court, it's the same old game. But like I said, now when you're over there, instead of me passing MJ, I'm the MJ over there. So,
Yeah.
So I got to do everything. It's fun and you love the challenge. But like I said, if you have the best locals, Japanese players, you're going to be fine.
That sounds like everybody's in agreement there for sure. And I can remember when Ace was playing over there, you know, I've always followed Ace. You know, he went to Northampton High School. I went to Nandua High School. We were both top athletes in our school. You know, I think I always just kind of watched where he went. And it's true. You go over there and you're these celebrities. Last month I had Renee Montgomery on. And she was saying a lot of the same things that a lot of times overseas, they're getting cars and they're getting drivers and all of these great perks for playing over there. So it's really, really exciting to see players go and be able to take advantage of that. So when you were with the Bulls, what was the pardon?
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
We were lucky. Me and Ace were lucky. Basketball has done a lot for us and a lot of guys we know. And we appreciated everything we got. And to go visit another country and get out of America, because we already appreciate America, we love America, but to see other cultures, the way they live, and to play basketball and to get paid for it, it's like a dream. You can't ask for anything more than that. The only thing I wish that I was married at the time and I had some kids so they could experience it with me. But, you know, I still enjoyed it, but those are the only things I really missed about, or I wish I could have done differently about playing overseas. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, I love that
one thing
sentiment.
I wish I had done was take more pictures.
Yeah.
My family always said, "You taking any pictures? Send me some pictures." And I was like, "Man, I got the pictures right here in my mind."
Yeah.
Now, removed from that culture and that environment, I wish I had some pictures to look back on. And, you know, back then we didn't have the iPhones and all that. So the pictures wasn't ready that you can just snap a picture as you're walking down the street.
You had to make
yeah, so it was a little different in taking a picture, but I wish I had took more pictures so I can relive some of those moments.
Yes.
And in today's time.
Yep. True.
It's so awesome. And I love it, Scott, that you mentioned your family, and I know that it's been huge. What has it been like being a dad then? Let's segue right to that. Is that something you always knew you would be?
No.
Is it so much more than it was than you thought it would be? What's it like?
It's what I thought it would be. That's why I was patient and I waited. Kind of selfishly, I knew I wasn't ready early in life. At 45, I had my son. So it's everything I wanted to be. It's great to be a dad, and especially to have a boy and a girl. And my little girl is just awesome. She smiles all the time. My little son is hard-headed. He challenges me every day. He headbutts with me every day. And he might talk more junk than MJ. That's all I know. My little guy is crazy, so it's funny. It's funny.
Well, since you segued to MJ, nice job, by the way. Let's talk about it. You know, of course, everybody and their mom was tuned into The Last Dance. I know I was glued to it, watched it several times back. What was it like you to watch it and reflect as it was like being showed to you in real time?
Well, I knew my part, so I knew what was going to happen with me and when it was going to happen. But I just love hearing MJ speak. I loved his honesty. I loved his passion. I loved his motivation. I loved him, but because we knew it because we played with him or we played against him. I love how everybody who doesn't know him or don't know what makes him what drives him. They got to see it for the first time. And if you listen to his speech on his Hall of Fame, it was basically the same speech, the same thing he talked about. Little things that motivate him and drove him to be great. And one thing I learned, playing in the NBA on any other team is nothing compared to playing with the Bulls. I tell people all the time, I thought I averaged 11 points one year, 13 points another year. You think you're a good player, you're doing well, you think you're fit in the NBA. But then when you go to a team that's on top and is driven to win championships and that's it, and you have the best player, the best team, 5 out of 7 championships in the last 5 out of 7 years, 2 in a row before I got there, you're like, this is a whole new level. You got to step up your game mentally, physically, skill-wise, and it's like another level of NBA that no one's ever put me in through before. So I loved it.
You know, for me as an outsider and looking at the run that you guys had with the Last Dance and all that, and back in the day they used to say that Tony Kukoc was a great player, but he always took a back seat because he was watching Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And when you got the greatest player to ever touch a basketball on your team, did you ever find yourself in awe in practice and in the games just to watch him up close and personal?
It's more in practice because you see things that you like in games. It's easier because every day you have to go through it or go against it. So the things you used to do in practice, the effort, the moves, the physicality, the mental focus, it's unbelievable. I mean, the drive he has every day in practice, never took a day off. Came to work every day, business-like, lifted weights every morning. But the things he did in practice were amazing. And when you saw it in the game, you're like, I knew he was going to do it. I saw that in practice. So it's fun to see it. As you're sitting there watching it, you're like, he got him in his spot. He's rocking him. And you know what's coming. It's fun to watch for real. You are in awe. Because everyone think about it, you're playing against the best in the world, but then you have one man that's above the best in the world, and it's unbelievable.
100%, and he is, in my opinion, the all-time great. I'm sorry, I grew up watching basketball from the time I was a child. My father introduced me to Michael Jordan. He pulled me in from outside. He said, "You got to come see this guy." That's back awesome. When he was at UNC, and of course, I fell in love with him then. Still in love with him now. Not to mention the fact that
that's a real ACC school. Just to let you know, UNC is a real ACC school.
Pardon me?
I'm just saying UNC is a real ACC school.
Oh, wow. That's a shot over the bow.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
I apologize. Shots fired.
Ace, somehow I don't think that was a sincere apology.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
As we were watching The Last Dance and we were watching Mike, some reports have come out and people have said, Mike's lying. Mike's not telling the truth about what happened. He's throwing people under the bus, So for you to say, he's being truthful, I think that's really great. And I think that, again, Mike had this whole other level, like you were saying, of this different mentality. Are you applying that now as you go forward? Because, when we're inspired and we're driven and we're changed by individuals, that stays with us. Do you find that edge now staying with you as a coach and as just a regular person in everyday life? That's
a great question. I do. I find myself more confident off the court. I find myself more aggressive if I really want something. Because I'm a quiet and shy guy. I like to joke and have fun, but I'm not aggressive to go things. I let things come to me. But I think playing with Chicago, Mike challenging me every day, you got to go get what you want. Don't accept mediocrity. Go be the best you can be. And as a coach, you try to challenge your team like that. But a lot of kids in this day and age don't love that challenge. A lot of kids like mediocrity. They like being average. They like being a part of a team, but they don't want to be great. Because when you're great or push yourself to be great, you push your friends down, and a lot of times they like comfort of their friends. So it's tough to be as aggressive and as harsh as MJ was with me and our team, but you still carry that along, the competitiveness with you, and you still want to win at the highest level, and that's your ultimate goal. But you got to help these kids grow mentally and physically, and put them on the right path of after basketball being successful in life, not just on the court.
Well, it certainly doesn't look as if you have lost your winning touch from your championship with the Bulls. Your record at Southern Connecticut State is impressive, to say the least. And I know that Ace and I were discussing a few of the kids that you had recruited, and one of which also showed up on Ace's list, Greg Jones. Ace.
Oh, Greg Jones.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, I was going through your roster, and I saw Greg Jones popped up. I was like, oh, Greg Jones. I recruited Greg Jones really hard in high school. He went to John Marshall out in Richmond, Virginia, played with Ty White. And then he went on to JMU. I mean, once JMU came into the picture, I felt like I couldn't get him to come to my university at University of Maryland for sure at that time. And then when he transferred, I reached out to him. And when I reached out to him, as soon as I reached out to him, it was during the transition. We got the notice that we was released at the University of Maryland for sure. Because I was in my coach's ear, yo, coach, we got to find Greg Jones. Because I used to go to a lot of that practices. And he was in the gym, and he was the energy of the entire gym.
Yes.
And at the time, he was a junior. But you would thought he was the senior captain on that team. He had no plays off. He was playing with his shirt off, and he was already cut up and chiseled. Looked like he belonged at the collegiate level. And he was a offensive rebounder. I mean, he was that junkyard dog. And I was like, coach, this is the guy that we need on our roster. And when I seen him on your roster this year, I was like, oh, I didn't know he had went to play for you. And had a pretty good year. I saw his stats was like 13.8 points and 7.6 rebounds.
Yes.
So most definitely, when you talk to him, show the love and tell him, man, I mentioned his name.
I will for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely, like you said, definitely have Greg. And funny thing you said out about a high school practice. Anthony Goins, who was at Yale, assistant coach at Yale, then he went to Quinnipiac. Now he's assistant at Clemson. He said he went to a practice, and I forgot the big kid that's going to the NBA now that was at John Marshall for that 1 or 2 years.
No, he's going to the NBDL.
Yeah. Well, he was late for practice, and Greg said
Isaiah Todd.
Yeah. He was late for practice, I think, and Greg said, we can't accept this. Everybody on the line runs sprints. It wasn't Coach White that had to do it, which is awesome when your leaders take over practice and control the team. That's when you know you're going to be a great team, when the players coach each other and hold each other accountable. And he told me that story, so I was like, that's the kind of guy we need. I love his energy, like you said. He goes out and plays every day, and he talks. Because it's hard to find kids that talk. He's vocal every day and brings energy, and that's what you got to love. Yep.
Well, Scott, it sounds like you are poised to have a very, very successful career continuing at Southern Connecticut State. Again, just to kind of review what you've been up to this season, 16-11, last season, 19-12, season before that, 16-12, the season before that, which was 2016 and 17, 18 and 13 with an NCAA berth, again, of course. And then in your very first inaugural season, a 22-8 record. Coach, how are you continuing to put out these winning seasons, and people got to be noticing you, Coach?
Yeah. You know what? I love the players we have. The only thing that's been hurting us, like the last few years, injuries. Like our leading scorer last year tore his ACL, Ewan Coleman, 2 years ago, and he came back. He was healthy to play halfway through the season, but I said, let's just redshirt him instead of get him 2 more years instead of bring him back for half the season. So if we stay healthy, we can have so many more wins, but that's part of the game, especially at D2 when you only have 8 scholarships. Health and the kids stay away from sickness. When you're on the college campus, the flu goes through everyone. So those two things, injuries and health and sickness, have hurt us the last few years. But if we have, if we have a healthy team and stay with the injuries, we'll be in the NCAAs again and we'll go far in the tournament, because I really believe that our talent level is pretty deep. And we have another kid. Hey, Ace, we have another kid from John Marshall, LeVar Allen. Tay. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So you down in the Richmond area recruiting a little bit.
Go down there and dig them out. Dig them out, baby. You got some talent?
You got right on speed dial.
Yeah. Oh, I do.
But you know what, though? With success comes opportunity. And with the success you're having at, what's the name now, at the university now, how do you see yourself going forward? Because your phone is going to start ringing on a different level, and guys are going to be reaching out to you. How do you see yourself accepting those calls?
I'm happy where I am, Ace. I mean, we can always say or think someone's going to call, but it hasn't happened yet. I mean, I had the opportunity to go to San Jose State. I had an interview at San Jose State a couple years ago and didn't work out. But I'm happy where I am. I love being able to see my mom and dad who live in the town next to me. Both of my parents graduated from Southern Connecticut, where I am. I have a great administration. We're coaching one of the best Division II conferences in the country from top to bottom. I'm playing against some coaching against some coaches that won NCAA championships and have been there for 34, 35 years. It's a challenge. It's fun trying to figure out a game plan to beat those teams. And like I said, I have some very good players that we're really close to being very good, really good. And any level, I'd like to win a national championship or even make a tournament. It'll be fun if that ever happens.
I remember when I had talked to you when you was at Quinnipiac. I know you was at Quinnipiac for some years, and you was like, Ace, I'm at home. I'm loving it. I'm living at home. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to move or whatever. I'm at home. Yeah. So I know being in Connecticut, you're at home, and your name goes a long ways, not only in the States, but in Connecticut goes an extremely long ways. And, I'm sure everybody's proud of your success there as well.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be home. And I'm blessed that my athletic director gave me a chance. I think I'm the first black coach in the league, and it's been around for a long time. So he opened the doors for many people of men's basketball, I should say. First black coach of men's basketball, I think. And he's opened the door up for me and hopefully many more opportunities for other people. So I'm thankful for that.
Scott, what is the biggest challenge you're finding now throughout the COVID virus in your recruiting? Because we're seeing some things come down the pipe on certain sports about dead periods and what coaches are allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do in respect to recruiting players. How has it been affecting you, and what can you expect to see in the coming weeks?
It's tougher for D2. D1s have, I have one assistant coach. D1s have 3 or 4 or 5 other assistant coaches that can go out recruiting. So we don't do a lot of recruiting until late, when all the kids' dreams of Division I are crushed and they fall through the cracks. So it hurt us pretty badly because, that was the time when you go out recruiting after your season's over. But boom, the virus hits, everything's canceled, no recruiting. It's a lot of film. It's a lot of phone calls to get to know a kid, but it's just not that. You got to do now, since you didn't, I like to watch a kid because I want to see how he acts with his teammates. Does he talk on the court? Is he a good teammate? Is he a bad teammate? Is he selfish? You like to see that in a game when you watch a kid a few times, but you can't get that. I couldn't get that a lot this year. So I recruited kids that came from good programs that are winners where they were and that want to just win in basketball. They weren't worried about the small things, how many shots they get. They just want to win. And obviously you got to call all your connections to find out more about a kid since you couldn't find out. So
right.
I relied on a lot of scouting services, a lot of people that saw him, a lot of prep schools that saw him, the kids I've recruited. And so far, everybody's giving me good feedback that a lot of D1s saw the kids I recruited. They're like, you got a good one with him and a good one with this one. So I hope it works out.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's going to work out because literally, Coach, you've had a stellar season. And I'm curious to know what you learned at UConn under Coach Perno, correct?
Coach Calhoun.
Coach Calhoun. Okay, so I gotcha. Yeah. So what was it like with Coach Calhoun? He was fiery, huh?
Oh, that's why it makes me laugh. That's what makes me laugh when people say, Jordan was so hard on you. Jordan wasn't anything compared to Coach Calhoun.
Right.
Calhoun, he pushed you mentally, physically, not physically touching-wise, but like skillfully.
Sure.
You better bring it every day. And if you think you can come in and just skate through practice, you won't be at UConn long. And like, we were picked last in preseason my freshman year. We end up winning the Big East. And this is against Alonzo Mourning, Derek Coleman, Dikembe Mutombo, Malik Sealy, Robert Wardan. There's some studs in the Big East at this time, lottery picks. And we ended up winning it because we believed in what he was selling us. And it was just effort, mental toughness, hard work, determination. Don't let anyone outcompete you. And that's the same thing MJ pushed. But everybody had a problem with on Twitter because it wasn't them, number one. And number two, they might have been a little jealous because they wasn't them. But that's how you get better. If someone doesn't challenge you as a competitor, you're in the wrong field. You should love a challenge, accept the challenge, and just get better. Or you can quit and ask to get traded or go to another school, another team.
So it really wasn't a stretch for you going from Coach Calhoun and the UConn, the demanding schedule that being a Division I basketball athlete demands, extremely demanding. Not to mention the pressures that come with it, everything that you guys get. Sure, you deserve it. You know, you have the talent, but it comes with a great responsibility. And it sounds like you're really putting that or bringing that kind of level of intensity, commitment, hard work, all of that into your program. Ace, are you someone that would want to go up against your guy in like a cross division type, you know, scrimmage type thing?
Hey, Ace, matter of fact, we need some exhibition games, Ace. Great question, Steph.
I just got a call the other day. Some guys was reaching out to me about an exhibition game, and I reached out to the guy that does the scheduling, and he said we're done for next year.
I'm done with everything. I'm done with
season is already done. Scheduling is already done for next season.
Okay. Hey, that's a great answer, Ace. The diplomatic answer right there.
Hey, that's what that public
scheduling
relations director. You know, Ace has the new position as the coordinator of relations at basketball, so he's.
I want Ace to get a head coaching job. I think Ace knows the games, played the game, knows how to deal with people. I hope Ace gets a chance to be a head coach, because there's so many people that have done this for so long, have learned from a lot of great people, have done great things, just don't get the opportunity, and it's sad. It's sad, and what's really sad is that search firms dictate everything in this day and age, and and ADs hide behind them, so they make mistakes. Get out and know more people, not the ones that are getting circulated throughout the country. Get out to someone that deserves a chance. And there's a lot of guys out there that are in this field that deserve chances. And I just hope maybe people reach out to Ace, myself, and I'm happy where I am, but just give other people a chance at coaching Division I team. Because a lot of people have been fired. Give us a chance as well.
I definitely appreciate that plug, Scott. That's a dream of mine. That's a dream of mine to one day have my own program. Right now, I'm just happy being on the staff at Virginia Tech. I'm appreciative of the opportunity to come and join that staff. When I was at the University of Maryland, the Shore, I was appreciative for the opportunity to be there. I'm always going to do my best at every position that I'm in. And if that opportunity one day presents itself, I will open it and welcome it with open arms. And as me as a competitor, I know that, I would do my best for the student athletes, for that university, and for the families that entrust me in that student athletes.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to get more opportunities. That's all.
And you guys are so, a lot of it is politics. A lot of it is who you know, not what you know. And all you can do is just keep winning where you are. Just keep winning where you are. Winning changes everything.
Appreciate what we have. I mean, we got to appreciate what we have, but we always strive for more and better things.
Absolutely. I love it. Coach, let me ask you this real quick.
We're both coaches. Which one?
Scott, Coach Burrell.
Okay. All right.
Coach Burrell, let me ask you this. When you decided that you wanted to play Major League Baseball, was there a point where your parents were like, what are you doing? Or was it a popular choice in your family?
Yeah, it was popular because one thing about it, because both my parents were teachers, and the importance of academics, it runs throughout my family. When I signed with Toronto, they allowed me to go to school still. So I played baseball in the summer. I'll go to one session of summer school, and then I'll go play baseball. So I never got to excel to what level I could have been. I don't know what level I could have gotten in baseball, but I truly love baseball, but I think I love the competition of playing basketball every day. Because I was never the best basketball player. I knew I played hard. I knew I competed. But I was always, while most kids play basketball year round, I was always playing other sports. And I love the challenge of trying to catch up to people. And I knew I could do that at the defensive end by playing hard. And I love locking people up, competing. So I was never the most skilled. I could shoot and play defense and run. But I never worked on my ball handling, which I should have. I maybe played longer. But that's in the past. I'm not worried about that. I just love that challenge.
Yeah, let's let that go because I think you're doing just fine, Coach. I saw in a recent interview that someone asked you, what would it be like if you pitched to Michael Jordan? And I mean, I don't want to, I mean, I know you said what you said, but I mean, what would that first pitch be like? I mean, I'm just saying.
Tell MJ, I'm putting in his ribs for all the things he said to me and did to me. But it's in a joking way because he's such a nice guy. Just like you said about me, I'm a nice guy. And I do appreciate that. But I'll still get a little fastball inside and brush him back. It might even hit him by accident.
Right. Well, I mean, that's your space. You know, that's your dominant space. So if he ever met you there, I'm sure that would be a very cool exhibition. Ace, would you be front row for that?
Man, I would have my cell phone out taking pictures of that. I would be recording that up close to get that documented.
My time to dominate him now.
And I guarantee you, if I posted that, it will go viral.
Yeah.
So Ace mentioned something earlier that we both thought was really interesting. And again, Scott, we thank you so much for joining us here on What's Good Gifted. This is another installment of Full Time Out with my guy, Ace Custis. Scott Burrell is our guest, world championship basketball player, two-time first-round draft pick, athlete in 2 sports, now the coach at Southern Connecticut State. Ace and I were talking about how your life might be a little different now than it was before The Last Dance aired, wouldn't you say?
Oh, much different. I've done, seriously, literally close to 150, in between 150 and 200 interviews from throughout the whole Last Dance. And I texted MJ, I'm like, thanks for all these interviews. He said, it's going to be a lot more. So, yeah, I've done a lot. Definitely done a lot. But it's like I said, I enjoyed watching it. And I hope everyone else during these tough times got their mind off what we're going through and enjoyed the greatness of the Chicago Bulls.
Ace, I know that you were saying that life was changing for him. In what ways do you see it even growing more for your friend here?
I definitely would use that to your advantage. When you go out on the road now recruiting and you recruit some of these younger guys, some of the younger guys, these 17 and 18-year-old guys might not know who Scott Burrell was before The Last Dance, but now they know the Scott Burrell, the household name, the Jordan teammate and all that. I'm sure you can use that to your advantage when you're recruiting. I'm sure your players right now are giving you a hard time.
Oh, yeah.
You know how they joke.
It's funny you said that, Ace. If I did, they came out, I was done recruiting before this year happened, before The Last Dance came out. But the thing about it is, most young kids still think LeBron's better. So they're not still take my word for it. But one thing it does do, their coaches and their parents know how good MJ was and think he's better most of the time. So it gets me in the household to meet the families and the coaches. And then now it's your chance to break down the door and the walls for the kids.
Yes.
And when you show them gifts, things like this.
Hey, I know that's a good show. Bling.
Yeah. That jewelry and hardware goes a long way.
It does. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And that is the truth.
I played a little baseball in high school. I played in middle school and I played in high school. I was all conference. I played cleanup position, hit a lot of home runs, and I had a little success in high school in baseball, but I never had to make a decision such as you. When you had to make that decision, basketball and baseball, because in my reading, it said that you was the first American to be drafted in the first round for basketball and in the NBA and Major League Baseball. How hard was that decision? I mean, because you had success at both.
Yeah. Just love of the game. I just love basketball, and I appreciated basketball a little bit more. And I think if I wasn't a pitcher and I was like a fielder where I play every day, I probably would have played baseball. But being a pitcher once every day as a starting pitcher, you pitch once every 5 games. And when you're young, you're hyper, you have all energy. And pitching once every 5 days, it bored me to death. And I was 18 years old, living in Canada at the time, or Myrtle Beach in the minor leagues. And I was thinking, I can't take this anymore because I want to be out there playing like I did when I was in high school. I also played a different position when I pitched. But when you get drafted as a pitcher, you're just staying there as a pitcher. And that didn't excite me. So the excitement of basketball is what pulled me away from baseball at that level.
You must really have the love of basketball because back then baseball had the high dollars. And if you were a pitcher, they had high dollars. But now you got the basketball contracts. That's incomparable to baseball and the quarterbacks and all that now. So you have those. There's a little balance now. But back then, I think baseball was making a lot more money than basketball.
Ace, I messed up. Either way I look at it, I messed up, Ace.
Nah, you did pretty good now.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
This has been such a great talk. Scott, we thank you so much for joining us again on What's Good Gifted in this segment of Full Time Out with Ace Custis. This has been What's Good Gifted. I'm your host, Steph Wood, with another installment of Full Time Out with my guy, Ace Custis. We've been on the phone with Scott Burrell. Scott, give me a 15-second recruiting pitch for your biggest recruit. Ready?
Yeah.
Set? Go.
Well, it starts with this. I want more of these. I want more of these. You are going to help us win. You're going to become a better player, a great student, and I'm going to grow your path after college. I have connections if you want to play professionally. If you don't want to play basketball, I'm still going to help you do whatever you want in life. I'm there for you, but I need your talent. I need your effort. I need your leadership to make us great. So please be a Southern Owl.
Coach, where do I sign up?
I was sold as well.
Shoot a 10-footer.
Coach, you just made me cut this gray hair off. I'm coming out of retirement.
Hey!
I'm coming to play for you.
Hey, trust me, Ace. We will get national champions. You come play. We will yes.
Well, you can find out more about Scott Burrell and his great program at Southern Connecticut State by checking them out, the Southern Connecticut State Owls. Of course, you can find out more from Ace and myself at whatsgoodgifted.com. Ace, you want to take us out of here?
My man, Scott Burrell, I appreciate you coming and joining us today. When I reached out to you and you accepted it without hesitation, I mean, I'm so appreciative. It speaks volumes of yourself. I know you're a busy man right now with your recruiting, and everybody want a piece of Scott Burrell at this time, especially after this last dance. You are wanted by everybody right now for interviews and for various reasons. So I'm so appreciative that you took a time out to be a part of What's Gifted tonight with myself and Steph Wood. So, I would definitely be in contact with you.
All right.
Man for life.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me. I had a great time. I think you guys are doing a great job, and thanks again for having me.
Thank you so much, Scott. Again, this has been What's Good Gifted, another episode of Full Time Out with my guy, my homeboy, Ace Custis, and my new guy, Scott Burrell, world champion, two-time first-round draft pick, head coach at Southern Connecticut State University. I'm Steph Wood, coming to you from my city. Y'all stay blessed.
Thank you, guys.